A lot of Americans, they don't understand what I said. I said the American tight oil, we call it tight oil, we welcome it. It is another addition to the supply, but it is very expensive.
OPEC Secretary General explaining why the group decided not to cut production again. That decision was initially made back in November, due in part because of the rise in North American output. The U.S. producers are nearly level pegged with their counterparts in Saudi Arabia and Russia. And despite a fall in prices, the U.S. shale producers in particular are not rolling over. Richard Quest has their story.
Oil and Williston go a long way back. The first wells date back to 1951. This is historic oil. It is crude from the #1 discovery well called Clarence Iverson, named after the landowner upon whose farm it was found. Drilling for oil was profitable, and then came fracking, the controversial technique of fracturing rock miles below the Earth's surface to unleash trapped crude. It truly put Williston on the map.
My name's Monty Bessler, and I'm known as the Frackinator.
The Frackinator was there from the start.
See how the wells are lined up here?
Monty Bessler helped frack that very first horizontal well in the Williston Basin in the 1990s.
We had always been kind of the backward stepchild of the oil business, and now all of a sudden we were developing a technology and doing things that nobody else had ever done and being successful at it.
Williston became Boomtown USA, growing at double-digit rates. Oil workers were coming from across the country to strike it rich. The lack of housing so acute, many were forced to sleep in trailers and vans. It couldn't continue at that pace, and it didn't. The world was pumping too much oil. OPEC refused to cut production. As oil prices plunged, the number of drilling rigs in North Dakota fell from nearly 200 to less than 90 today. Despite the slowdown, projects begun in better times continue. Main Street is being dug up for repairs and upgrades. Housing projects are under construction right across town, even as the price of rentals fall. Paying for these projects while the economy slows down is the challenge for the mayor, Howard Klug, over a chili dog at Hedrick's. He reminded me the slowdown may be to the city's advantage. The perception is it was boom and now it's bust.
No, it's not boom and bust. It was boom, unmanageable. It was overnight. It was like they opened the door, and as some people say, it's kind of like drinking out of a fire hose. We were inundated by people, and now it's calmed down. We're going to catch up, and everything is coming back toward the center of this oil play.
Richard Quest, CNN, Williston, North Dakota.
That's the view from the oil fields of Williston, but we decided to talk energy with an American fracker who came to this part of the world to discuss the tug of war with Middle East producers.
We're getting way more efficient, driving the cost down, but there's not going to be a time where fracked oil can come out of the ground for a single-digit number. Maybe we can drive it down into the 20s. That's going to take a bit of time, but overall, still think the cost of new production, if we can get it down to the $40 range, we're doing very good.
It's interesting because behind closed doors, the Saudi oil minister, Ali al-Naimi, was suggesting he wanted to drive the frackers out of business.
Right.
What's the reality? What was the result of all of this in your view?
I think the reality was that on Thanksgiving Day in the United States, ironically, November the 27th of last year, I think that in a way Saudi and OPEC gave the baton of the swing producer to the United States and said, look, if you don't like the price of oil, then you guys can drive your production numbers down and the price will increase. We have to protect market share here. So I think in a way he thought by doing that, okay, he could drive the price down so far that he could put us out of business in a way. And I think they've been surprised at the resiliency of the industry. I think they never thought we could last as long as we have and take the rig count down to half and still keep the production numbers where they are and then can drive oil back into the 60s where it is today. So I think that they were surprised that they couldn't push us out as quick as they thought they could.
Chris Faulkner, an American oil man in Dubai. Well, to see that interview or any of our reports again, go to CNN.com and search Marketplace Middle East. You can also send us a message, as you do, on our Facebook page.